neuroplastic left heart. Not yet born, and he was already very sick. Shortly after, Ari became the first person ever to have 2 successful heart surgeries before he was born. In the early part of his life, he had 3 major open heart surgeries and had over 20 total invasive procedures. Now, before I continue, Ari's cardiologist, Wayne Turetsky, and Audrey Marshall, who also invented and performed many of those procedures, including both surgeries before Ari was born, are here tonight. Can you? Audrey, Wayne, can you both please just stand up and be recognized and give a quick wave? Thank you both for everything you did for Ari. So as you can imagine, this was a lot, but somehow in the middle of it all, he found a way to become a massive sports fan and serious athlete. Hockey, golf, basketball, baseball. Starting even before he was 2, he couldn't get enough. Here's just a brief sample from the early days. When Ari was 4, we brought him in for his big annual heart checkup. We thought we were going to be told he was getting better. Unfortunately, no. Ari was in congestive heart failure and needed a heart transplant. One day when Ari was inpatient in July of 2016, we were playing baseball with him in the garden. Here he is with his always attached IV pole. If anyone knows what a patch of pain is, let me know. That day, our friend Seth Rosenzweig, who we all know and love as the CEO of Team Impact, happened to be in the garden watching Ari nail pitch after pitch. And he came up to me and said, "I think I have something that Ari's going to love." A few months later, we learned that Ari was going to be drafted onto the Assumption College baseball team. Here is his reaction.
Want to say hi to your teammates?
He was psyched. And here's how the draft went.
This whole event was put on by a charity, Team Impact, that matches chronically ill kids with local college sports teams.
All right, it's official.
A big day for Ari Schultz, drafted to Assumption College baseball. Just 4 years old, but he's a champ, an athlete all around, on the field, on the slopes, and a fighter all his life. Ari has congestive heart failure. He's had 3 open heart surgeries, 2 before he was even born.
We don't know what his future holds, but if you look at him, you see how active he is every day. He has a zest for life.
That zest and a love of baseball keeps him smiling.
I love it so much.
And his parents hopeful.
As you can tell, he couldn't have been happier, and I couldn't have been prouder. From that day forward, Ari was not just a member of the Assumption baseball team, he was a member of the entire Assumption community. He attended basketball games with his teammates, football teams, hockey nights. Whatever the occasion, he was also the ultimate college wingman. Really. Ari couldn't get enough. Every day he'd ask, "Dad, when can we go back to Assumption?" Unfortunately, a few days after hockey night on December 10, Ari took a turn for the worse. Much worse. You don't ever want to know the feeling when the emergency room attending doctor says, "We're putting the defibrillator pads on your son, just in case." Ari was now very sick. He wasn't going to be well enough to go home until he got a new heart, so we settled in for the duration. He always tried to make the best of it, but it was hard on him. He used to love the hospital. For a few years, nothing bad happened to him. But this time, he was traumatized. Constant sticks and pokes, often through the night, awful and painful medication, tubes and wires, no appetite, and if he did eat anything, he couldn't keep it down. But somehow, even though he was very, very sick, he would rally for his guys. When he could no longer make it to campus, his team came to him. The hour ride each way from Worcester. For the 4 months Ari waited for his heart, they came. Every week. As you know, Ari was an equal top opportunity sports lover. He was extremely excited to watch the 2017 Super Bowl in the lobby of the hospital. Now, you'd think college athletes would be at a big party on Super Bowl night, but not Ari's teammates. They spent the night in the hospital with a 4-year-old. Ari was too tired to watch the fourth quarter. And not just the fourth quarter, the fourth quarter. But he wanted his guys to come up and stop watching the game so they could tuck him in. So while the Patriots were making the biggest comeback in history, his teammates were playing PS4 hockey with Ari and tucking him into bed. It was pretty amazing. And then Ari's new heart came on March 3rd. Erica and I told Ari, and tens of millions of people around the world heard his reaction. But who did he want to talk to? His team.
I'm getting my new heart today. I'm getting my new heart today. Yeah. Bye. Goodbye.
They were in the middle of a doubleheader. The transplant went well, and for a short time he was perfect. Here he is enjoying the sun in cardiac ICU just days after his transplant. Unfortunately, soon after we learned that he and his new heart were not getting along. Ari began to struggle just days after this picture was taken. A week later, he had a cardiac arrest on March 22. I held his hand and talked to him while he was awake and alert through 27 minutes of CPR. Soon after, he was on life support. And the whole Assumption campus prayed for him. Ari's heart didn't beat. It was non-pulsatile for 36 hours. We didn't know if he'd recover. We were told no more heroic measures would be taken, but he persevered. He spent 66 days in cardiac intensive care. And as he struggled to get better, you know what he wanted to do. And when he could finally stand up, he was right back at it.
There we go.
So before I move on, I'd like to ask our mates and best friends, Jake Byrne and Alex Richardson, and his coach, Mike Rocco, who are here tonight, to please stand and be recognized. Thanks, Coach, and thanks, Rich and Jake, for everything. On June 16, against all odds, Ari came home. First stop, baseball field. He loved being home, being back with his brother and sister, and being back with his team. He was home for 1 month. One glorious month. But it wasn't meant to be. Ari died on July 21, 2017. lot of people got to know Ari's story, actually a few 100 million through his videos, but we wanted to keep his funeral small with a family-only service at the graveside. Ari's teammates were his brothers. They joined us to lay Ari to rest. A part of Jewish tradition is for those attending a funeral to pour dirt on the grave, often with the family finishing the job to make sure the final goodbye is at the hands of loved ones. On Sunday, July 23rd, Ari's brothers on the Assumption College baseball team buried my son. Ari was a sick little boy his whole life, and the more than 430 days we spent with him overnight at the hospital were hard on him. But like so many children, he shined. His joy was always ready to come out, but given his circumstances, he needed his friends and family and love to help him let it out. Fortunately for us, we had Team Impact. I can personally speak to just how deeply meaningful, from the day he met the team until the day that he died, Ari's bond with his teammates was. I know that his life was changed, and I know that he changed the lives of his teammates forever. We all know Ari's deep and meaningful bond with Assumption Baseball is just one of thousands represented throughout this room and across the country. Because of Team Impact, countless children, their families, and their friends get the boost they need to shine with joy in the face of disability, pain, and fear. There are so many children who are struggling where organizations like Team Impact, even for a little while, take away the pain and unleash the happiness that every child so deserves. For the men and women on college sports teams, at the cusp of becoming whoever they're going to be in life and society, Team Impact helps them unleash their potential for kindness, compassion, and love that they might not have otherwise discovered or felt so profoundly. Fortunately for these young athletes and these children just waiting to shine, they have something very special. They have you, your support, and your generosity. They may never see you, may never know how you gave to them so selflessly, but I see you. I know, and I thank you. Thank you for everything that you do to bring the light of joy to their lives that they would otherwise struggle to find without you.